there's a certain beauty to the condition. Let's go to the next one. The meat and taters. So the meat and taters, this is what basically is the makeup of what I call the superpowers of having bipolar, right? And it's emotional range and insight, creative thinking, expressive communication, passion and boldness, hypomanic drive, intense focus on purpose, resilience through struggle. And I will go over these. This is like our table of contents. You know what I mean? This is the meat and taters of it all. So emotional range and insight. People with bipolar II often feel emotions with a level of intensity, complexity, and depth that others rarely reach. That depth can lead to a strong ability to read others' emotions, understanding what pain, joy, love, and fear really feel like, a rich internal world with powerful personal meaning, greater emotional intelligence over time. And when you've lived through the extremes, you develop a type of insight that isn't taught, it's earned. This emotional bandwidth lays the foundation for creativity, empathy, and wisdom. So basically, it's just saying that me, a person with bipolar II, feels these intense emotions, and it in a way it allows me to empathize and emphasize, you know what I'm saying, with other people, and understand them better to help them. And greater emotional intelligence over time. It's I'd consider myself an emotionally intelligent person. And it's funny because you think it's contradictory to bipolar, right? Because you're like, well, wouldn't you be, unfamiliar with emotions? Wouldn't you be like feeling like stranded almost? But that's really not the case, because the individual has to learn to develop emotional intelligence. They have to learn how to better manage emotions than the average person, so that they can, just function. And this slide is basically just saying that they have people with bipolar disorder, and I guess I'm specifically talking about bipolar II, have this certain kind of depth to life that they can reach, through their whether it's hypomania or depression. They know the extremes. That's basically what this is saying, and it gives you a certain type of insight that isn't taught, it's earned. And it lays the foundation for these beautiful things: creativity, empathy, and wisdom. It really does. It can push you in a great direction. And the whole point of this video is to say, like, look, just because bipolar II, you don't have a disease, man. You don't have an illness. You're a person, and you actually have more ability than other people do. You just experience the world differently than others, man. I'm with you on that. I'm bipolar II, man. Like I wouldn't be saying all this if I didn't experience it myself. Okay. And it's an interesting thing, but this whole video is just to go through, like, hey, there is some benefit there. I don't want to say benefits, but there are ways to flip it into your advantage to possibly produce outcomes that might not have ever existed. Okay, next slide. That was getting a little bit complex there, but creative thinking. A brain that doesn't stick to strict normal patterns can be incredibly inventive. Bipolar II minds often make unexpected mental connections, think visually, symbolically, and outside the box, turn emotion into innovation and storytelling, see the world through a different lens. Intense moods fuel imagination. It doesn't mean someone is always creative, but when inspiration hits, the output can be unique, powerful, and brilliant. So that kind of connects to the last slide, but this is more saying the fact that you have these abnormal patterns enables you to have a new perspective on life that others can't see. That's essentially what this is saying, and it can lead to great things. It can lead to, like I said, unique, powerful, and brilliant. The output can be, it's just, if it's flipped right, it's really hard to, though. Like, medication is very important with when dealing with this condition. Expressive communication. Strong emotions plus unusual thinking equals intense self-expression. This shows up through art, writing, music, or performance, deep and engaging storytelling, the ability to move others emotionally, authenticity that people feel instantly. While others struggle to put feelings into words, a bipolar II voice can channel raw truth. What they express connects because it's real. Like, I really am experiencing this. I really am. I know the raw feel of it, man. I know the real deep emotion that might be overlooked. And this is saying that it can be expressed through art, writing, music, performance. Which on the side, I like doing rap songs. That's something I enjoy doing. And well, this isn't like an all about me slide. This is about Bipolar II. I'm just keeping it clear. I'm just giving examples of my life, how I can directly relate to you, so you can better understand what the meaning is here. Passion and boldness. People with Bipolar II rarely operate at neutral. When something matters to them, it really matters. They throw themselves into projects with their whole heart. They take risks others are too afraid to take. They have a natural drive towards meaning, not mediocrity. They push limits because they believe big. This intensity can spark life changes, new careers, big ideas, movements, art that shakes people awake. When the emotional fire is directed well, passion becomes courage. And that is so true. Individuals with bipolar has a certain kind of fire to them that can really take you far. Like, I dream big, man. I dream big. Like, I hope I could one day be able to provide for, accomplish so much, man. And once again, I'm not trying to throw too many examples of my own life into this, but it just resonates with me, that's just how it is. It's all or nothing, basically, is what this means. It's all or nothing. Hypomanic drive. Hypomania can feel like unlimited energy, confidence that goes beyond fear, rapid problem solving, fast learning and hyperfocus, a sense of momentum. This state can lead to high productivity burst, finishing creative or impactful work quickly, inspiring others through charisma and enthusiasm. It is not a stable mood, but when managed, that surge can be a massive advantage in short periods. So yes, this isn't a stable period. You don't want to actively seek hypomania. But the whole point of this video is that there's a beauty to just how naturally your biology is going to work. Naturally, my body, every once in a while, is going to get me really amped up and going to make me feel like $1,000,000, and I'm going to feel like I can do anything in the world. And there's a certain part of that just, it's pretty, almost, It's like, yeah, there's huge consequences, but there's still advantage in this, there's still advantage. I remember back, I'm not going to quote anything on the screen, but there was like a college study test where kids in college are more that have bipolar disorder, particularly during hypomanic episodes, actually perform better than their peers. It can actually be an advantage, because you're pushing your body beyond its limits. You're going overdrive, basically. But yeah, let's go on to the next slide. Intense focus on purpose. Many with bipolar II don't chase small goals, they chase meaning. They fixate on missions that matter to them. They push through obstacles because the goal feels personal. They obsess in a good way until they build something real. They look for purpose in everything. This can turn potential into achievement, especially when their passionate and hypomanic energy combine. When direction is clear, the drive is unstoppable. And really, I think this slide just speaks for itself. It's the whole kind of thing with bipolar is you got this fire in you to really build something raw and authentic, and that's actually what I'm trying to do here, ironically. Resilience through struggle. This is the superpower nobody wants to earn, but many do. The constant battle with mood swings, self-doubt, and darkness teaches survival skills, emotional toughness, the ability to rebuild after falling, strength that doesn't break, it adapts. Every time they climb out of depression, they grow stronger. That repeated recovery creates resilience most people never learn. The struggle doesn't take away the power, it's what creates it. That right there, the struggle doesn't take away the power. The struggle does not take away the power. It is what creates it. And that really hits deep. That's really the fundamental, I guess, message of the video in a way. You go through all these harsh, you know what the worst of the worst feels like, and you know what the highest of the highest feels like. Your emotional range is very vast, right? You feel all extremes. So when somebody says they're sad, you know what they mean. When somebody says they're super happy that day, you know what they mean. That's you have this certain relatability to people. It's kind of covert, they might not know it, but you do relate to them, and that can create connection in itself. But The bigger picture, not everyone with bipolar 2 experiences all of these strengths, right? And these traits don't erase the challenges, but when the condition is understood, supported, and managed, a bipolar 2 mind becomes creative, driven, passionate, insightful, and powerful. It's not that bipolar 2 is automatically a superpower, it's that the potential is already there. For anybody out there with bipolar 2, just know, look, you are amazing. You are a star. You you have these advantages that other people don't, man. You really do. You know what the darkest depths feels like. You know what pain. You know pain like nobody's business, man. But you also have a creative, driven, passionate, insightful, powerful. Those are all words that do describe you. That's something that just naturally comes with it. It's part of the experience. It's the beauty. It's the eye in the storm. It's just the beauty of it all, really. And so, with my experience with bipolar 2, I've tried to learn to appreciate the aspects about it, the good aspects about it. It can be rough at times, okay? It definitely gets rough, and I've had a lot of consequences for it. And throughout my life, I didn't know until um, like a month ago that I had it bipolar 2. I knew I had depression, but I thought no way I could possibly have, a disorder so rare. But that I grew up in not so good household, so that kind of contributed to it. But I'm not here for a sob story. I'm just here for a to let you know my experience, and it's it's uh it's it's beautiful in its own way, man. It really is. It has its moments. It's I've learned to accept it as who I am. I love it. I wouldn't wish that I didn't have it, Even though I know how bad it gets, I would still rather have it, man, cuz it has taught me something that I don't think I would have otherwise been able to figure out. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.